Good old procrastination. We're all guilty of this behavior, right? But why is this? How come we can never be 100% motivated to just follow through with something that we know is going to be good for us in the end, even though it's unpleasant to begin with, right? And just get started with. How come we can never have this motivation to just power through and soldier on? Well, let's look at the scientific explanation as to why we procrastinate. The brain is naturally wired to make us comfortable and not make us happy. So naturally, it'll avoid situations that we perceive to be overwhelming and unpleasant and stressful. And this avoidance provides a sense of temporary relief because we don't have to engage in the experience that we are perceiving and we are anticipating to be unpleasant, right? So we get to relax, we get to put it off and just do other things that are more enjoyable to us and provide more instant gratification for us. But this sense of temporary relief isn't long lasting, right? It's temporary for a reason, because the longer that you avoid the task that you need to do, the more anxious you start to get from avoiding that task, because you know it has to get done. And now, instead of having time on your side, you don't have time on your side, and time is now against you, and it's creeping up on you, this task that you have to get done. And so it becomes a negative feedback loop, because the anxiety that you are now starting to feel from avoiding the task at hand is now an excuse to keep avoiding the task at hand. And so you get stressed out, and the cycle continues. All right. So how do we put an end to this problematic behavior known as procrastination? Well, here comes the cognitive behavioral technique known as the 5-minute rule. You need to tell yourself that you are only going to do this unpleasant task at hand for 5 minutes. Why does this work? Well, because we're tackling the root of the problem, which is the perception of the unpleasant task at hand, right? That's why you don't want to do this task, because of how you are perceiving the task to be. You are expecting all these negative feelings to come up from doing this task, thus making you avoid the task. But if you have a different perception of the task, well, then you would want to do it, right? So only telling yourself and only committing to 5 minutes for doing this task changes your perception to seeing it as, something that's pretty easy and doable versus something that is very overwhelming and stressful, right? Because you can do anything for 5 minutes. That's the truth. I mean, it's really not asking for a lot when there's 24 hours a day and you only have to do something for 5 minutes. I mean, come on. And because you're only allocating 5 minutes, it gives you more of a sense of authority, right? Because even if after those 5 minutes you want to stop doing the task, you have the right to stop doing the task. You're only committing to 5 minutes. And this kind of ties back into what a lot of psychologists believe works, which is setting small, realistic goals for yourself, okay? If you were to tell yourself to do it for 8 hours, well, I mean, you're going to burn out, right? But 5 minutes, you can do anything for 5 minutes. And because you are almost guaranteed to achieve doing this task and completing that 5-minute goal, you're already going to be in the zone, and you're just going to end up doing more time, spending more time on this task and completing more of it, if not finishing the task, because you're already in the headspace and you're already set up and, in your little zone doing it and, working through the motions with it. So it is a great tactic to employ and to use. And that is my advice for beating the problematic behavior known as procrastination. I hope that this video helped.